Good morning. Today I will be presenting to you one of the most important biomes found here on Earth, the shrubland biomes. But first let's discuss, what are shrubs? Shrubs are plants smaller than a tree and grows to a height of no more than 16.4 feet. They are also known as hedges, bushes, and woody plants. Now that we know what shrubs are, we can now proceed in knowing the shrublands. A shrubland is identified as an ecosystem with large amounts of shrubs and shrub-like plants, like grasses, bushes, and other herbaceous plants. It is a natural vegetation developed where the weather is mild and wet during the winter and dry during the summer. There are many types of shrubland biomes across the world. These are as follows: cedar scrub in Texas Hill Country, quogan in southwest Australia, fynbos in South Africa, maquis in southern Europe, matorral in southern Europe, North America, and South America, chaparral in California. I'd like to feature a particular shrubland biome found in Fynbos, South Africa. In here, winters are cool and wet, and summers are hot and dry. The Fynbos region, on average, receives 1,000 millimeters of rain annually. Also, due to maritime climate, there is only a 10% difference between summer and winter temperatures. The wind is an unavoidable factor in the Fynbos region, with average wind speeds reaching up to 30 kilometers per hour. The Fynbos shrubland biome is bursting in biodiversity. Flourishing flora and fauna as well as other microorganisms thrive in here. I am to feature 3 animals and 3 plants that are peculiar in the landscape. Animals that are peculiar in the Fynbos shrubland biome. Cryptomys hotintotus, aka the common mole rat, is a large, fuzzy, almost blind rodent that lives most of its time underground. These mole rats play an important role in the Fynbos ecosystem. The amount of dirt that they move helps to improve the soil-water drainage. These mole rats are unaffected by fires due to their subterranean lifestyle. Bromerops cafer, aka the sugar bird, is a relatively dull-looking bird with different shades of brown feathers. They have a distinctive yellow patch of feathers around the tail feathers. They are endemic to the Fynbos biome. The sugar bird is the main pollinator of the Protea family and are very important to the Fynbos ecosystem. They are threatened by frequent fires and struggle to re-establish itself after frequent fires. Pseudaspis cana, aka the mole snake, has a small head and pointed snout. They are firm and muscular-bodied and are not venomous and would rather use constriction for killing their prey. These snakes burrow underground to hunt prey such as mole rats. The mole snakes are important in controlling rodent populations. Leucospermum conocapodendron, aka Protea, is a tree-like shrub. The flowers are spherical, snowy, and bright yellow. Protea produces a nut-like seed. Protea is endemic to Cape Peninsula. The brightly colored and unscented flowers are pollinated by sugar birds. Protea has a long, thick, woody stem that makes it fire-resistant. The ants carry the seeds down into their colony where it is placed in a viable, germinating environment. Disa cardinalis, aka the orchid, has an underground root that gives rise to a single stem. Leaves are clustered at the bottom of the stem. Flowers are unique, having 3 sepals and 3 petals, which are large and showy. This orchid is an evergreen perennial plant that grows next to the streams in the Cape. This orchid likes to grow in full sun. The seeds are quite large and are possibly dispersed by the streams next to which the plants grow. This orchid is a resprouter and will emerge after a fire. Erica curviflora, aka Erica, is a vertical woody shrub. They grow from a well-built woody stem and produce thin, slender but straight branches with soft leaves that are gray-green in color. The flowers are hairy, curved, and tubular that varies in color between yellow to red. Erica needs a lot of water to grow and is therefore found growing in large communities next to the banks of streams and rivers. Erica has co-evolved along with the curved beaks of the sunbirds that pollinate these plants. Erica is an effective attractor of pollinators, thus establishing in high abundance to ensure the species' survival after a fire. This is a sample food web typical to the Fynbos shrubland biome. The producers are the red disa, Erica curviflora, and the king protea. The primary consumers are the butterfly, sunbird, sugarbird, ants, beetle, and mice. The secondary consumers are the gecko and the snake. Just to give you an example on how the food web works, let's start with the king protea as the producer. It is then eaten by its primary consumers, which are the sugarbird, ants, and mice. Then these animals will be eaten by the secondary consumers, which are the gecko and snake. There are abiotic factors for the Fynbos shrubland biome. These are the following: soil condition and component. Fynbos soils are naturally acidic and low in nitrogen and phosphorus. Climate conditions associated with predominantly winter rainfall between 650 mm and 2000 mm annually. Temperatures are generally mild, frost is seldom recorded, and summer maximum temperatures seldom exceed 30 degrees Celsius, except in interior valleys. Wildfire incidents. Fynbos has evolved several traits in response to the recurrent fires characteristic of the areas in which they grow. Seed release is stimulated by fire, while seed germination and flowering may also require fire as a trigger. Water requirement. Fynbos both protects steep mountain slopes against erosion and it's frugal in use of water, making the Cape Mountains highly efficient water catchments. There are observations that symbiotic relationships do happen in shrubland biomes. For example, during the Erica flowering period, the semi-rigid stalks bloom conspicuously with delicate rosy flowers. All of the Erica family have mycorrhizal fungi attached to the roots. In this symbiotic relationship, the fungi benefits from the photosynthesis and feeds off the chlorophyll that the plant produces. In return, the fungi assists in extracting the water and mineral nutrients which the plant cannot absorb on its own from the barren soil. Without this relationship, both parties would suffer. Mutualism. There's plenty of mutualism in the shrublands as well. For example, many shrublands have lichen, a symbiotic pair of fungi and algae or cyanobacteria. Algae uses sunlight through photosynthesis to make their food. The fungi surround the algae and gain nutrients from them. In return, the fungi protect the algae and keep them cool and moist. This way, the fungi gets all the nutrients it needs, and the algae are able to spread into habitats that would otherwise be too harsh for them. Commensalism, seen in cactus wren and various bushes. The cactus wren make nests in and lay their eggs inside thorny bushes to deter predators from their young. While the cactus wren benefit greatly from their strategy, the bushes are mostly unaffected from the wrens making nests inside them. The biodiversity in the shrubland biome is threatened by four major threats. Droughts, which are brought about by the El Niño phenomenon, which makes land drier than usual for longer periods of time. Fires. Wildfires, bushfires, and forest fires are a result of severe drought and hot temperatures. This poses danger to the flora and fauna in the region. Land loss. Shrublands sometimes are created by man for farming and domicile purposes. If more and more shrubland zones be occupied, then habitats of the animals in the region are in peril. Species loss. This is brought about by the three above-mentioned threats. If neglected, extinction, especially among the endemic species in the area, is possible. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Have a good day.